Gambling has been around for thousands of years, but with the invention of the internet, it kind of became omnipresent. You'd be hard-pressed to find something you couldn't wager on these days. For most, it's an occasional and entertaining outlet, but it can morph into addiction and cause all sorts of trouble. Lee Mordyke is a gambling disorder prevention specialist. She's right there joining us this morning with some important info. Good morning, Lee.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I was just talking to you a little bit before here about, I was considering making maybe a bet or two over the past weekend because you hear the commercials all the time.
You hear them all the time,
Right.
and it's really accessible now. And
yeah, let's talk about that gambling and societal changes.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like 30, 40 years ago, people weren't really open about, I'm going to put a bet on the game this weekend.
Yeah, you know, the more we talk about it, the more we...
well, it becomes normal.
Yeah, it does.
It's
totally
been
becomes
normalized,
normal.
right?
Yep, the more accessible it is,
Right.
it totally becomes normalized. And so really what's important then for us to know is what are our own limits, like how can we in a healthy way interact with it?
Yeah, let's talk about the realities of a gambling disorder, okay, and what that looks like. People like to put a little extra on the game, make it a little invested into it, right?
Yeah.
But that can turn into something much worse.
Absolutely. So it really interacts in our brain the same way as alcohol or other drugs or any other addiction that we might experience. And with gambling, there's the potential for financial problems, there's the potential for family problems. It has all of the same ramifications, and it really can become an addiction. It really can become, dangerous. It can, negatively impact families.
And we've heard these types of horror stories. It just feels like they're becoming more and more prevalent because, well, gambling.
It's more accessible, right? We can sit on our phones and gamble while we're watching TV, and it's, very accessible. It's why it's so important to know our own limits and put our own guardrails around that.
Let's say someone like me might be considering doing a little extra fun with the games on the weekend, right? Where can I go to make sure that I am not going down the wrong path to where I'm not seeing the signs of where something bad might happen?
So we have a website, Stay Out of the Danger Zone. And just type that all out. It comes right up, and it gives some warning signs. It gives like a little quiz for you to take to just sort of do some self-reflection, like, might I have a problem? It gives, if you're a parent, it gives some talking tips.
Oh my goodness, we didn't even talk about, I mean, the teenagers these days.
Yep, about 15% of high schoolers have said that they have gambled in the past 30 days. So that's the past month.
What, 15%?
15%.
So that's more than you would think.
More than you would think, especially knowing that it's illegal, right?
Yeah.
And so, and it is a self-report survey, so, there's a margin of error there. And so it's important that we talk to our kids about it and know how to get help and know how to see the warning signs. And all of that information is right there on Stay Out of the Danger Zone.
Okay. Is this a site that you would go to if you feel you're having an issue, or is this a site you go to if you think someone else might be having an issue?
Both sets of resources are on there. So if you think you have an issue, you can go right there. You can read through those questions. If you answer yes to, a couple of them, there's a button right there you can click and call to get help and get a referral. If you are a parent or you're a trusted adult for kids in your life, you can go there and get talking tips and get up-to-date information just to really know, like, what do I look for? What do I consider? What might I be able to say to make sure that our teens don't end up addicted to gambling?
In the world of addiction, I think there's a lot of people who are like, well, there's two. I don't have a problem.
Yep.
Okay, but that's not a problem. Or I do have a problem, but I'm too ashamed or too embarrassed, or I feel like I'm going to get judged because, I'm less of a person because this happened.
So absolutely not. We all have a risk for addiction, and it varies for each of us, and we don't know. We honestly don't know our own risk until, we end up maybe struggling. And so the website just provides some great information, some great tools, access to help if you need it. You don't have to log in or anything like that. So you can
You're not giving up a bunch of personal information.
No, it's factual. It's totally judgment free. It's just we want the resources out there to in case anyone does need help, and also for parents that want to talk to their kids a little bit more.
Absolutely. What a great resource and
Yeah.
a needed resource.
Absolutely.
Gambling's not going anywhere.
It is not.
Yeah,
It's probably just going to get easier to access, and that might be okay. We just then need to know how to talk about it, need to know how to put up our own guardrails, and
you got to make sure that we're doing it safely. So stay
Absolutely.
out of the danger zone. You've heard those horror stories. You don't want to consider it a cautionary tale. Go to stayoutofthedangerzone.com. Get the information you need, and you can gamble responsibly and have some fun with it and stay out of the danger zone. Thanks again, Lee.
yeah, thank you.